Okay, so this is a ongoing story on YouTube. I haven't opined yet because I just didn't really care to, and now I'm going to do it because now I actually see a nice article on Yahoo that I can respond to. First thing I should say is that I actually have a video that's been waiting for monetization for like 2 days, and it's about Japanese Christmas cake. And I'm a little disappointed with YouTube for taking so long to monetize these videos. It's almost as if they are purposefully taking like up to 48 hours in order to do most of these damn things now. That's one thing. And once it clears monetization or not, I'm just going to post it anyway. Also, this weekend, I'm going to make videos on the New York International Auto Show. I haven't really done cars in a long time because, let's just face it, most new cars have been mostly boring, except for the electric vehicles, which is all they really have that's actually quote unquote new. There's nothing really exciting anymore. So, yeah, I'll be doing the New York International Auto Show, and I'm going to have plenty of video about that. So I'm actually excited about that because I want to see how I handle it with my iPhone 1 terabyte 14 Pro Max. I wish I had 2 terabytes because, and it's funny, people always ask me, they're like, oh, well, why is it that you need 2 terabytes in a phone? It's like, hey, stupid. It's like I make YouTube videos and I like making big, long YouTube videos, right? So it's like if I were to go to this car show and I record individual clips on all of the different individual shows, not only could I post those shows individually, but on top of that, I could combine them and make one really, really big video. And the problem is when you do stuff like that on iPhone, it uses a lot of space in order to finalize it, especially if you're doing 4K video. So bottom line is that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm really excited. So look forward to it this weekend. Okay, so here's the story. Pearl, just Pearly Things, says she may sue her black former podcast co-host who quit for comments likening her YouTube business to a plantation. So this is by Lindsay Dodgson, and they claim it's a 4-minute read. Yeah, okay, it's going to take me a little bit longer than that because I'm going to be ad-libbing through it. So that's just Pearly Things. You see this woman right here? That's just Pearly Things. So just Pearly Things is ultimately the queen right now of the manosphere. You remember in Game of Thrones how you had Cersei Lannister? And Cersei Lannister, she had the rich father. His name was Tywin Lannister. And basically, she learned everything that she could from Tywin Lannister. And then when it came down to it, she basically took over the whole goddamn kingdom. She took over King's Landing. She took over pretty much all of Westeros. And she claimed that she was the queen of Westeros. Now, Westeros is a big place. Now, Westeros had a bunch of different kings because you had the king of the north, who was, that was the people who'd been living beyond the wall, I should say, beyond the wall. So they claimed that they got their own king and they refused to bow down to the queen on the Iron Throne, right? So you had the king of the north. Then on top of that, you had other kings who, they lived separately and they refused to recognize the Iron Throne. Now, who was the original? Now, the king before Cersei was actually, in this case, it was her son Joffrey, right? But before Joffrey, there was Joffrey's father. Now, Joffrey's father was Robert Baratheon. Now, the Manosphere had a king of the Manosphere before Queen Pearly. And Queen Pearly took over after the death of Kevin Samuels, right? The death of Kevin Samuels. So, unfortunately, yes, Kevin Samuels died. Now, he was the king of the manosphere. And I know, just like Passport Bros, nobody wants to admit it, but the reality is, even though you don't elect a leader, and even though there's no divine right giving you, well, technically this is divine right. This is really divine right that gave Queen Pearly her crown. Kevin Samuels rose to prominence because he came up with an idea of how to run his YouTube show in a way that nobody else did. And King Kevin basically got to the top of the game by basically doing shows where he was bringing on quote unquote modern women and literally insulting them and tearing them apart and showing them that their ways were not going to get them the results that they wanted. They were all talking, oh yeah, I want a high value man. I need a high value man. I need my man to make $500,000 and he has to have a 12-inch penis. And then on top of that, yes, he has to have at least a big mansion house, and he has to take me on vacation. He got to take me to Seychelles. He got to take me to Maldives. He got to take me to Bora Bora. And he's got to have a six-pack. And he's got to have abs. And he's got to make six figures, maybe even seven. Well, the reality is most of these busted down leftover women, these Christmas cakes here in America, these are, these post-wallers. Kevin Samuels had to basically tell him, it's like, listen, this is not going to happen. He brought up a rating scale. He's like, yeah, you got to rate yourself between 0 and 10. You can't use 7. And there, I kind of disagreed with him because as far as I'm concerned, there is no 10. There is no perfect woman at all. There are no 10s. There are no dimes. So basically, that scale goes between 0 and 9. There's no 10s. And he said you can't use 7, but in my case, no, you can use 7, but there are no 10s. There are absolutely no 10s. So that's just how it is. So anyway, Kevin Samuels, he was drinking Red Bull, and he was with this younger chick, and then his heart basically gave out or something. Now, some people say it could have been like, he took the jab and the jab killed him, but we'll never know because we didn't do the autopsy ourselves. And, most of these people don't have medical experience to do it anyway. So, that said, Queen Pearly rose to prominence. She started on TikTok and she got on YouTube. And she basically continued the Kevin Samuels talking points. Mostly shame, blame, and explain. That's called SBE. She shame, blamed, and explained to modern women. She shamed these modern women for being terrible people and being just horrible people. And then she blamed them for not being able to get the results they wanted. And then she explained to them how to be better. And, most of the women that she brought onto her show, they didn't accept it. They just, they tried to overtalk her and this, that, and other, but they didn't accept it. So that's that. That's Queen Pearly right there. She rose to she is now the Queen of Westeros. There are a lot of people who don't like her. They don't think she's pretty. They don't think she's attractive. But here's the thing, though. Nobody cares what they think. Now, they've been after her for a while because apparently they claim she tried to Me Too her previous coach of her sister or something like that, her previous coach for some team. I barely remember that story because it really doesn't matter. And they tried to hurt her numbers then, and it didn't work at all. It backfired because the thing about it is she grew about 100% more since those videos came out about her. She was only at like 600,000 or 700,000 subscribers back then. Now she's at I think it's either 1.3 or 1.4. So the thing about it is no one can stop a star from burning. Stars have a life cycle. No one can stop that. Now, some stars burn twice as bright for less time than others. Kevin Samuels is an example of that. He's like one of those supergiant stars, and they use up their fuel really quickly and then they die out. They go supernova. And that's basically what happened to him. And I liken it to, those Batman movies where he said, listen, you know what? Either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And Kevin Samuels basically died a hero. He came, he burned real bright. There were people hating on him too. So Just she's not the only person getting hate. But they hated on Kevin Samuels. He didn't give a fuck. He kept doing what he was doing. Made his money. He was making top dollar. He was making, what was it? He was making thousands of dollars every single show. And people hated on him because they couldn't burn as bright as Kevin Samuels. So to see the de facto, you know what de facto means? De facto means everybody just knows it. Everybody just accepts it. Kevin Samuels was the de facto leader of the manosphere. There's de facto and there's de jure. De jure is by law. Now, Kevin Samuels was not voted in. A lot of people didn't want to see him where he was, but it didn't matter because nobody voted. He wasn't put there by law. He was de facto leader of the manosphere. Anybody who mentioned the manosphere mentioned Kevin Samuels. All of the news media looking from the outside in, if they brought up manosphere, that was the first name that they were going to say. They were going to say Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels died. There was also Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate rose to prominence. Now, I don't know if he personally claimed manosphere, but because most of these angry strags that make these news clippings and these videos about the manosphere from the outside looking in, because he was the loudest, most misogynistic voice that they could find, they claim that he was a leader of the manosphere. Thing about it is, he got locked up, went to Romanian jail and whatnot, and they've recently let him out, thank goodness, because I think the charges against him were false. So, he's going to have a legal battle and everything. But he too is going to get grouped as a manosphere leader. Now, most people aren't going to say that he's on the same level as Kevin Samuels because Andrew Tate wasn't doing YouTube lives constantly, and he wasn't, that wasn't his thing. Now, Just Pearly, however, has risen to be the queen of the manosphere. And that's just what it is. And nobody wanted to see a white woman be the head, the de facto ruler of the black manosphere. Nobody wanted to see that. So they're hating on her, and she's the star. She's burning bright. They don't like the way she looks. They don't like the fact that she's white. They don't like the fact that she's got that blonde mop, if that's blonde. I'm not sure if she's blonde or I don't know what hair color that is. I don't know if they call it auburn or whatever the hell. I don't know. But the bottom line is they don't want to see her there. And behind that smile, that's the Cersei Lannister smile. She smiles at you, and she's got a real sharp knife. And the thing about it is she's got that hidden right behind her back. And she's got that peaches and cream, right? And she's got that sharp ass knife, and she's like, yeah, you know what? It's like, don't mess with me because I will stab you, and that's it. I know I seen that look before, but Just Pearly thinks it's the queen. She's not playing. So all of that as exposition. Now we get to the story. So on I guess her left is this black guy right here, SA RA GARVEY. SA RA GARVEY. So here's the story. It says podcaster and commentator SA RA GARVEY cut ties with anti-feminist creator Pearl. He accused her of having a colonialist mindset and not paying her black co-hosts appropriately. All right. Pearl told Insider his statements are defamatory and she may be suing him. Now, let's just understand something. When somebody invokes the plantation, they're trying to invoke slavery. So basically, if there's a white person as the boss or a white person at the head of anything, people just try to claim automatically that, oh, this feels like slavery days. Because I guess maybe a lot of them are traumatized because they watch a lot of those slave movies. I don't watch those slave movies like, 12 Years a Slave. I haven't seen it yet. And I've watched others. But the thing about it is, those movies, for historical context, it's like some of them are very accurate, some of them aren't very accurate, and then some of them are made for comedic purposes, just like Django Unchained. Django Unchained was a very good movie, but the thing about it is it was really a comedy film, despite the fact it may have had some realism in it. But even then, Django Unchained was directed by Quentin Tarantino, and the fact that Quentin Tarantino was white, there were people like, what was his name? What's that guy? How the hell did I forget that? He was a director. He was the director of Malcolm X. How do I forget his name just now? He's that little guy. He was in Malcolm X and he was playing with, what the hell's that guy's name? Come on, I don't know how I forgot the guy's name. It'll come back to me. Wait, I just got to think for a second. That I should not forget this guy's name. He directed Malcolm X, and he directed the Inside Man. How the fuck am I forgetting his name? I'm blocking his name mentally. I don't know why. That doesn't even make sense. How can I block that? What's this guy's name? Director, Malcolm X. Oh, come on. Oh my God, how am I blocking this guy's name? Oh my God, how can I be blocking? Directed by, I can't, okay, I'll come back to it. I don't know why I can't remember this guy's name. I can't, how can I forget that? But anyway, Quentin Tarantino directed Django Unchained, and Quentin Tarantino used the N-word about like 300 times in that movie. And this guy got mad at him, the other director, I forget, I don't know why I'm blocking his name. I know the guy. I'm looking at his face in my mind. I can't remember his name. All of a sudden, I'm just blocking his name. And I know his name, but I block it. I don't know why. So anyway, he got mad at him because Quentin Tarantino is white, and he couldn't take it. So he was saying the same shit. He's talking about plantation, talking about slavery, talking about, oh, you ain't got no right to say stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But Quentin Tarantino made his money. And he just made his money. He was like, yeah, there's nothing you could do because this is America. This is free speech. I can make my movie how I make my movie. Samuel L. Jackson didn't have a problem with it. And Samuel L. Jackson did a great job as Steven in the movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio was, he did a great job in the movie. And, Leonardo DiCaprio said the N-word about 100 times. And you know what? Just because you didn't come up with the idea, that is what it is. So, I made my money, and I kept on moving. So, Sarah needs to understand something. If the people who signed on with Queen Pearly, if those people were comfortable with what they were getting paid, then that's just what it is. It's like you have a choice. You either sign the contract or you don't. There's no such thing as appropriate pay. See, that's that bullshit that they started with this woke crowd who, most of these people, you can barely get them to go to work because they're hungover or they're high from the previous night. So it's hard to get these people to go to work. A lot of them have dropped out of the workforce. But these people, they believe in what's quote unquote a livable wage. It's like, there's no such thing as a livable wage. You work to live. That's it. There's no such thing as, these people think that just because they fucked up in school and high school and didn't go to college, dropped out of college, they think you're supposed to pay them top dollar. They think you're supposed to pay them $100 an hour to flip burgers at McDonald's. Like hell. They think you're supposed to pay them $17 an hour to mop the floors at a mobile mart when people are coming in to get gas. It's like, what are you, crazy? No. No, there's no such thing as a livable wage. No such thing. So that said, if you sign the contract, it is what it is. There is no such thing. You can't legally enslave people anymore. If people are willing to work and they sign a contract, that's it. That is law. That is a contract. It's like you there's nothing you can say about that. It's like there's no slavery involved because slavery is involuntary. A contract is voluntary. That means people choose to sign that contract. An employer chooses to hire a person. Slavery is where the employer chooses to force a person to work for free or for whatever they get. However, that's totally involuntary. That's why a slave is a slave. So for you to invoke these words basically shows that your mindset is flawed. Your logic is just flawed. It's stupid. So anyway, anti-feminist podcaster Pearl, we'll call it just Pearly, Miss Pearly, says she may sue her former co-host Sarah Garvey after he dramatically cut ties with her last week. Sarah Garvey was on that show. This guy wouldn't stop talking. It was like every time I'm watching the show, I'm waiting and watching to see what Queen Pearlie's going to say, and Sarah is running his goddamn mouth the whole time. To tell you the truth, I thought that because he was running his mouth that much, I thought she was actually paying him a lot of money to keep running his mouth because he was butting in, interjecting every 5 seconds. Everybody who's talking, this guy's running his mouth. So I assumed that he was making a lot of money. Now, I don't know exactly how much money he's making, but I assumed it must have been enough to keep him showing up. In fact, I got tired of watching him. I didn't come there to watch SA RA Garvey. I came there to watch just Pearly Things. And that's just how I feel about it. In a 20-minute video posted on Friday, Garvey alleged that Pearl underpays the black creators on her podcast, The Pregame, and has a colonialist mindset. He compared her content business to a plantation. Once again, if these people signed a contract and they signed it knowing that she promised them a certain amount of whatever it was, there's nothing colonialist about that. It was a contract, period. That's just what it was. Okay, so let's see. In a message to Insider, Pearl described Garvey's claims about how she pays people as defamatory and false and suggested she intends to pursue legal action against him. She said Garvey has had an agenda against me for months. The claim and Pearl's response shines a light on a contentious part of the creator economy, where people often work outside of normal employee-employer relationships. And that's another thing, and that brings me to something else, but I'm going to finish in a second. Hannah Pearl Davis, who is known as just Pearly Things. It says who is known as just Pearl, and the J is fucking lowercase. It's like, well, who wrote this shit? Just Pearly Things to her audience is a prominent but controversial creator whose reach has boomed in recent months, as detailed in a recent profile by Insider. Okay, this thing about outside of normal employee relationships. Here's the thing. As you may have noticed, I work alone. I'm like a lone wolf. I collaborate very rarely. If somebody asked me to come on to their YouTube channel, I don't like really using the word podcast because it doesn't really feel like a podcast. It's a vlog and whatever. Sometimes I get asked to come on to people's channels, and I'll do it. Sometimes there's certain channels I'll go on to for free. Now, most people would assume, oh, you're going on to somebody else's channel because you're trying to build your own channel. The reality is, no, I'm not. In fact, I'm not trying hard enough to build my own channel. That's why I haven't hit 100,000 subscribers yet. Even though I'm getting there, I mentioned there. I'm not the type of person who asks people for anything. I've got my own. I've got my own money. I've got my own business. I've got my own whatever. It's like I'm the type of, I hate asking for fucking favors. I really do. I don't like asking for favors. I don't like asking for anything. And outside of, a government recognized and government insured contracts and whatnot, which you would get with a higher employer or something than what you would see on YouTube, it's like, I'm not signing anything to work with anybody. I'm not doing it. I've got a lot of, how should I say, Chinese suppliers who give me lots and lots of nice free gifts. As you've seen, I do videos on them. They're not just giving me that stuff. They intend for me to, use it and to review it, to make videos, and they intend for me to basically advertise for them. So they're giving me a free sample and expecting me to advertise for them. That in and of itself is basically a contract, and that's the type of contract that I'm willing to do. Somebody gives me something, like for instance, I got in a video that I did recently, I had a triple monitor setup for my laptop, and those things are like $400 or $500. And here I am. I was given one. Didn't have to pay a dime. I didn't even have to pay shipping and handling. The only thing they expected me to do was to review it and to advertise it on my channel, which I did gladly. You also may remember I had made videos for Vietnam Wingman. I guess the question you need to ask the average American man: when you go overseas and you're staying in your condo and you happen to meet a chick just like this, it's like, what goes through a man's mind when he meets a nice chick like this? Now, you know where you'd find this right here? Because a lot of guys be asking me, oh, where do you find this? Philippines, Indonesia, South Korea. And you meet a woman like this. Oh, by the way, Thailand. I have to say Thailand, yes. Even Laos and Cambodia, you meet a woman like this, and she is waving to you, and she's giving you the choosing signals. I guess they call it choosing signals. And she's waving to you. She's like, honey, come this way to heaven and paradise. But in order to ensure that your night ends exactly like this, you need someone to help you meet the person of your dreams. For love, for marriage, this is who you should talk to. VietnamWingman.com. Give them a look. Vietnam Wingman. Now, I didn't really talk about it too much, but there was a deal for Vietnam Wingman where I promised that I would plug them in my channel. I would plug them on the videos I was making. And there was a promise that I would get them about 150,000 views worth of viewership. I ended up actually getting them more than 300,000 since I got so many views so quickly from my Passport Bros videos. So the reality is that was a contract. They told me they were going to pay me a certain amount of money, and I agreed to it. And I actually ended up getting paid more than we agreed to simply because they gave me a bonus. And I enjoyed plugging it so much that I didn't have a problem doing it. So that's just what it was. That was a contract. It was, now here's the thing. It was an unwritten contract. There was no handshake. There was just a verbal agreement that was made through email. And I fulfilled the contract, and then we closed the contract. And that was it. That was it. That's business. I personally don't like doing collaborations because when you're dealing with people on the internet who you don't even know, who you have no physical connection to, it's not easy to actually make a contract that could be upheld in a court of law, because what it really comes down to is hearsay. It comes down to he said, she said. I've seen a lot of other people who do work together regularly. And I'll say this, I've seen people who've tried to create channels together, and some of those people have quit early. And when they've quit early, they leave the other person hanging. I've seen other channels where people work together to make the channel, and they come religiously, and they work together religiously, and they don't grow the way they expected to grow. I'm not naming any names, but I've seen that happen numerous times on YouTube. I've seen people get together and they make channels that don't grow. I've seen people get together, make channels, and ditch and bail on the other person, leaving them with, just hanging. And me personally, I just don't feel like dealing with any of that. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't work well with other people. I'll just be perfectly honest. I do not work well with other people. I move at my own speed. I move with my own intentions. And the thing about it is everything I do better when I do it myself. Because when I study a problem and I decide how I'm going to solve that problem or how I'm going to approach that problem, I don't communicate well with other people, and I don't work well with other people. Now, the benefit of that is that I keep 100% of the money. Now, I want you to think about Just Pearly Things. She brings on all of these strags. Now, she brings on the British strags, the British version of a strag. I believe they call those strumpets. They have strumpets. They have harlots. Like, the British, they use all those terms that you heard, those Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and those Sherlock Holmes novels. So they have harlots, they have strumpets, they have, what's another one? Well, there's other words, it'll come back to me. But we'll call them strumpets and harlots, right? So Just Pearly brings on all these strumpets and harlots, and she SBEs them. She shame, blames, and explains to them. Here's the thing. The only people she really, really actually needs are the people who handle her cameras and the people who handle her editing. Other than that, there's nobody on that channel who she actually needs because the channel's not about them. Nobody is tuning in to see SA RA GARVEY. Nobody is tuning in to see King Willie or King Richard or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know, because I that's the whole point. I don't pay attention to them. When I'm watching the Just Pearly Things show, my eyes are glued to Just Pearly. That's it. It's the same thing with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, he didn't have to have anybody else on his channel. He didn't have to hire anybody. Because when you tuned in, your eyes were glued on Kevin Samuels and that desk ornament that he had that kept spinning around. Because those two things became synonymous with his show. Every single show he did, he's playing the same damn music. It becomes a Pavlovian response to his show. And that's what it was. It's like Just Pearly doesn't even have a theme song. Just Pearly doesn't have a theme song. Kevin Samuels, what do you have? Boom, 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 boom. In this moment, we got good life. Yeah, if you lead, I follow. If you lie, I know it. So, anyway, he had his own theme song that he snatched off of some other YouTube channel because I think that was somebody else's song, right? He had Money What? Yo tengo dinero. Money What? But I don't even, I can't sing that because I don't know Spanish, right? But he had Money World and he had Good Lies, and those became synonymous with his channel. Here's a question. What's Pearly got? Pearly doesn't have a theme song. So every time you tune into her channel, it's just her SBEing the harlots and the strumpets. You see where I'm going with this? So I didn't tune in to see SA RA GARVEY. Every time that dude opened his mouth, I was like, man, I wish this guy would shut the fuck up. Every time he opened his mouth, she should have fired him, honestly. Because I didn't tune in to see no SA RA GARVEY. I didn't tune in to see King Willie. I didn't tune in for that. I tuned in to see Just Pearly Things go up against the the charlatans and the harlots and the strumpets and the Christmas kickers. That's what I tuned in for. I did not tune in to see SA RA GARVEY. Bottom line is, they had contracts and that's it. But I don't think she even needed it. First of all, just Pearly Things, if she really wanted to, she could set up a camera with nobody running it, and she could set up a GoPro and people would still watch the shit. And yeah, she has a nice studio and everything, and I'm pretty sure she had people help her build the studio and everything, but you don't have to keep paying people to build you a studio. They build you the studio once, and that's it. And that's the end of the contract. Here you go. Here's $1,000. Goodbye. I'm not tuning in. I'm not even tuning in to see her studio. She could have a desk in McDonald's next to a glass window, and she could just be in a corner of McDonald's, and she could have a camera on her in a corner of McDonald's, and people would still tune in. It's got nothing to do with your studio. It's got nothing to do with how good your microphones are. You could be using these $50 Blue Ice microphones. That's got nothing to do with it. People are tuning in to see her. It has nothing to do with anybody else on that show. So the whole thing about it is, as far as I'm concerned, you're paying these people too much. You could do this shit on your own. But listen, if that's how she handles it, that's how she handles it. She is the star that is burning brighter than the other stars. So she must know what she's doing. So, but I don't personally work with other people. I can't do it. I don't like working with other people. I fucking hate working with other people. People don't move like I move. They don't move as fast as I move. I'm constantly thinking about how what is it? It's 6:41 in the morning, a.m., 6:41 right now. And here I am making this video right now. I'm holding up my iPhone. I'm laying in bed and I'm talking to this fucking camera. And you're still listening, which must mean that if you like what I'm doing, that I'm doing something right. I don't care how fast my channel grows. Maybe she tried to grow fast and she tried to grow faster because she needs the money. I don't know. But the thing about it is, this is my speed. This is what I do. This is how I do it. It's me and the iPhone versus the world. That's how it is. I don't like working with other people because you're not going to get everybody's got ideas. Oh, yeah, let's do. Do you know how many times I've been approached by people who've seen the success of my YouTube channel? And here I am. I've got like 2,000 shy of 90,000. Do you know how many people have approached me trying to get me to, and I swear to God, to actually sign contracts to work with them? And the only thing they could focus on was how much money they thought they were going to make. And they were focused on, what was it? Like, sharing subscriber base. It's like, it's not sharing subscriber base if I have more subscribers than you. If I have 88,000 subscribers and you only have like a couple of hundred, that's not sharing. You're getting my subscriber base, and you're making the assumption that my subscribers give a fuck about what you have to say. I've been approached by people who wanted to start LLCs. I've been approached by people who wanted me to sign contracts. That's no joke. And the thing about it is, I tried to hear them out. I tried to work with them, and then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, this person's wasting my fucking time. And I was like, no, I don't feel like doing it. It's like, I can do shit on my own at my own speed. People who tune into my channel, they're tuning in to hear what I have to say. They're tuning in to watch my videos that are shot my way. Very little pre-production, very little post-production, if any. There's like none. And that's what it is. And people are tuning in to hear that. People are tuning in to see just Pearly Things do what she does. It doesn't matter what she does, but they're tuning in for her. That's the whole point. They're not tuning in for no goddamn SA RA GARVEY. Okay? That's I didn't even know what that dude's name was. I thought he was King Richard because I didn't pay enough attention. I didn't care. I didn't care who he was. I honestly thought he was King Richard. I really did. I didn't care who he was. I didn't tune in for him. I tuned in to see Queen Cersei Lannister. I did not tune in to see Lord Kyburn. I didn't tune in for Lord Kyburn, and I didn't tune in for Tyrion Lannister. I didn't tune in for that. I tuned in to see Queen Cersei Lannister. That's how it works. So anyway, where are we? The claim and Pearl's response shines a light on a contentious part of creative community where people often work outside of normal employee-employer relationships. Hannah Pearl Davis, who is known as Just Pearly Things to her audience, is a prominent but controversial creator whose reach has boomed in recent months, as detailed in a recent profile by Insider. Garvey, who is British, said in the video that he and Davis decided to make a podcast together when she moved to London from Chicago. He said he agreed because she was making content similar to that of the controversial dating YouTuber Kevin Samuels, who he admired and who died last year. Garvey said that death left a vacuum within the manosphere space for Davis to fill. That I agree with. Nature abhors a vacuum. But the thing about it, which I find so funny, there's lots and lots of content creators, and there's lots of them who have more than 100,000 subs. There's Angry Man, there's Cynthia G, who most people don't like. The only people who tune into her are like single moms who are angry that they ruined their life. There's Kendra G, I think it is. Everybody's got a fucking G at the end of their name. I don't know what that's about. Everybody's got a G. I should call myself Passport G and put a G at the end of my name, and maybe I'll get more viewers. I don't know. Kendra G, there's Chantel Simone, The Pineapple Show, Melly, there's Melly Motors, and there's a lot of them. And the thing about it is, not a damn one of them are as big as Just Pearly Things. In fact, who was the one who just got sued for defaming, what was it? I think it was Cardi B or something. I think it was Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or some shit. Somebody defamed him. I think her name was Tasha K. Everybody's got a fucking letter at the end of it. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, I think it was Tasha K or something like that. So anyway, there's a lot of these other content creators, but Just Pearly blew them out of the water like the Red October submarine. Just blew them out of the water. Blew them out of the water. Now, a lot of them have gotten so upset. You got other content creators, Six the Goddess, who, oh yeah, well, I can't be friends with you if you support Pearly. I can't be friends with you. Oh, there's nothing to talk about. Anton, if you support her, we can't be friends. It's like I can't. It's like, okay, bye. That's how I would have handled it. You think I'm going to be on videotape begging some woman to it's just like right now. There are people who are listening to this video and they get mad at me. Oh, you're not pro-black enough. You're not supporting Sarah. Listen, I didn't fucking ever support him. I tuned in to see Just Pearly Things. So anybody who's mad at me, if you got a problem, the unsubscribe button is right there. Shut the fuck up and leave. This is not an airport. At an airport, you have to announce your departure. I am not trying to build a coalition of sycophants. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to build anything, honestly. I'm just making my videos the way I want to do them. And that's one of the reasons why I don't work with other people. I don't like working with other people because other people, they want you to do things based on how they feel that they're going to get paid off of it. I don't do that. And that's just how it is. So there's some people like, oh, yeah, well, you're supposed to support Sarah. Fuck that. I'm not supporting no damn SA RA Garvey. In fact, I didn't know who that guy was, and I could care less who he is. I'll still be tuning into Pearly, just Miss Pearly. So anyway, where am I? He said he used to work for Davis on a pay-per-appearance basis, but had recently been offered a different arrangement. He said Davis proposed that he work 10 a.m. to 5. Now, that's a goddamn job. But then again, 10 to 5 is not really that bad. I mean, it's not 9 to 5. 10 to 5 days in exchange for 30% of the video's ad revenue, but no fixed salary. He said he considered the offer too little. Now, first of all, I don't know what her videos earn. And I think the biggest problem with that is there's a lot of YouTubers. See, one thing that people need to understand about YouTube, I've been with YouTube for like 5 or 6 years, right? The thing that you got to understand about YouTube is when they start changing their algorithm and they start changing their rules and shit, content that used to earn good money can suddenly earn nothing. That's part of the reason why I don't like working with anybody. So this way I never have to worry about somebody coming after me, trying to sue me and shit. Oh yeah, well, Big Truck, you promised to pay me 30%. It's like, no, I didn't. I will never sign no goddamn contract. You do not. First of all, with YouTube, you can't be certain of anything. You can't be certain. I'll say it like this. There's a lot of YouTubers who thought that it would be easy to start a channel by buying a race car and modding it. There's people who bought Hellcats and Scat Packs and all this shit, and they thought that they'd be able to start a channel by modding those cars up, and they thought that they would get big views and everything because they thought that they could be like Tall Guy Car Reviews. They thought they could be like Mr. Organic. They thought that they could easily get 300,000 subs. They thought they could easily get 600,000 subs. They thought that they could easily get 200,000 subs. Most of those car channels have fizzled out like bad farts. Think about Omi and a Hellcat. Omi and a Hellcat was very inspirational to most YouTubers who they thought that they could be like him. Then the truth started coming out, and now most of them, they're like, oh, shit. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to back off of that. But the reality is, it's like YouTube can change those rules. They can change that algorithm. They can change traffic at a whim. For instance, Passport Bros was big. Passport Bros blew up. After Kevin Samuels died, Passport Bros blew up over last summer. Passport Bros are going to keep blowing up this summer because you still got Passport Bros out there making videos. Austin Holloman blew up. Think about that. Think of it. He's a good case. He blew up. Suddenly he's got like 50,000 subs. He blew up on YouTube. But now he's got a government, supposedly, he's got a government who is upset with him. I won't say that they're, doing anything to him, but I say, yeah, he's got an entire government upset with him. And he's got a globe of feminist strags chasing after him, intent on getting their pound of flesh. So my thing is, it's like, you never know where this YouTube shit's going to take you. You could get famous. You could quickly make some money and you could become irrelevant. You just don't know. You don't want to sign no contract for that because the thing about it is you have no idea if you're going to even make money. They can demonetize your content and you can make nothing. And now, how are you going to pay these people? So my thing is, I don't like no damn I don't want to sign nothing with nobody. I don't want to do it. Furthermore, that contract really only benefited SA RA GARVEY. Just Pearly Things is bigger than SA RA GARVEY and will always be bigger than SA RA GARVEY. First of all, because she's a woman. And this is something I learned a long time ago. Do not pocket watch a woman on the internet. You cannot win. A woman on the internet, she can get rich. All she's got to do is do some yoga poses, just like ATQ Official. All she got to do is get down there, do some yoga poses, take her shoes off. A woman, all she got to do is take her damn shoes off and show off her feet and show off her legs and wear something skimpy. All she got to do is put on one of them house dresses, like one of them thin-ass house dresses, and walk around on the camera, and she'll have more subscribers than my ass. Like, do not pocket watch. I learned this lesson a long time ago. Do not pocket watch women. Don't do it. Women on the internet can out-earn you in minutes. You know how women, they came up with this lie that women make, what is it, like 75 cents per dollar or something a man makes? First of all, men work difficult, dangerous, and dirty jobs. While the men out there are busy building bridges, they ain't got time to have a skimpy outfit on and be on YouTube. While the men out there are building space stations, they ain't got time to be showing off pictures of their feet. While the men out there are building submarines, they ain't got time to be farting in jars and selling them on eBay. While the men out there are building the bridges and building infrastructure and handling high voltage wires that if you make a mistake, you die instantly as soon as you touch it because it's high voltage and your life literally gets electrocuted out of your body. Those men ain't got time to be showing off their booty on Instagram. I think you get my drift. Men do difficult, dangerous, dirty jobs. Women are sitting at home with a camera and a yoga mat, and they're making more money than most of these men who are out there risking their lives to build that infrastructure. Have you ever thought of that dynamic real quick? Have you ever thought of that dynamic? There's right now, I'm laying in bed because I've got a very, very good income. I'm laying in bed. It's 6:55 and I'm making this video. Right now, there's a man out there with a high voltage electric cable who's laying that cable somewhere. And he's making it easy for me to get on the internet and talk shit because he's laying this cable. And if he touches that cable wrong, he dies instantly. That's a dangerous job. That's a difficult job. Right now, there was a report about dudes who were climbing up these cell towers and dying on these cell towers. These cell towers are killing people. I don't know if it's 5G and if you get in front of it, it roasts you or something. I don't know what it is because I didn't watch the documentary. But I think it was Vice who put that documentary. If you type it up, cell tower deaths, there's men whose job it is to go up on these cell towers and make it so that these thoughts can use their cell phones to send pictures of themselves on Instagram. And these dudes, their job is to go up on these cell towers. These men are dying on these cell towers. Dying. Meanwhile, these thoughts are sitting at home. They got a yoga mat. They got a camera. Oh, yeah. Show pictures of me flexing and showing off my booty. And they putting that on YouTube and Instagram and OnlyFans. And the men are dying for it. Do you ever think about that? Kevin Samuels was the first person that I can remember who actually really brought that up in a way where people could actually understand it. There are men dying to make it so that you can be on OnlyFans. Do you understand that dynamic? And you're complaining that he makes 25 cents more than you? I personally am disappointed in the men for not immediately raising their voice and saying, "What are you, fucking stupid? I'm dying on this cell tower. And you're just sitting there selling pictures of your feet." So I'm very disappointed with the men who don't speak up. Like, for instance, Andrew Tate, I can see why Andrew Tate grew up so quick. I can see how he grew so big so quick. I see how Kevin Samuels grew so big so quick. They actually told the truth. And other people heard it and they were like, wait a minute, this guy's right. The fuck, I'm on this cell tower about to die. And my wife is at home taking pictures of her feet to show other men. And she's got guys in her DM. And I'm up here on a cell tower in front of a 5G antenna and I'm having my lungs roasted by microwaves. 5G, 2.5 gigahertz microwaves roasting my goddamn lungs. So that's all I'm trying to say. Okay, it says he said Davis proposed that he work 10 a.m. to 5 days in exchange for 30% of the video's ad revenue, but no fixed salary. And by the way, I did watch his video where the video that they point to in this film. He said that he approached her asking her about a salary. And he said that Hannah, her eyes narrowed and she looked him in the face and her eyes got narrow and she got very angry. And she said, "We do not do fixed salaries. That's what he said. He said she looked him right square in the eye, and her eyes got narrow in the way that only a white girl's eyes can narrow. And she looked like, imagine this, you're a black man, right? And you're talking to this white woman, and she is a self-proclaimed Karen, and she's got this beautiful smile, and she's got this giggly goo smile on her face. Giggly. She's got this giggly smile on her face, right? And you're like, hey, baby, how about a salary? And then all of a sudden she looks right at you. She says, whoa, 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 whoa. Her eyes get narrow and shit. And she looks you square in the eyes. Now, this is a white woman, you're a black man. Keep that in mind. She's physically smaller than you. And she looks you square in your fucking eyes. Like a rattlesnake says, yeah, I'm going to bite your ass. And she looks you square in the eyes. And she looks at your square in your eyes. As if she was on the plantation and you were a slave on the plantation. Looks you square in the eyes. We do not do that. Now, that giggly smile goes away instantaneously. Instantaneously. Giggly smile. You know how white women, how they twist their finger in their hair and shit, and it's all cute and feminine and everything? All that shit goes away instantaneously. Looks you right in the eyes. We do not do that. Don't ever mention that again, or I'll have your head. That's what I'm told. That's the queen right there. You don't fuck with the queen. See, the queen will get your ass. Don't do it. Don't do it. So anyway, I saw it, and it was funny because even he explained it in that video exactly that way. He was like, yeah, she looked at me like she was going to snatch my soul out of my body. Don't play with Pearly. That's the queen right there. Don't play with her. So anyway, where is it? He did not provide any proof of the arrangement. He did not respond to insider requests for comment. In a subsequent interview with YouTuber Anton Daniels, he alluded to sharing more information soon. Garvey said he considered the figure too low and further alleged that Davis offered other black creators less, though he didn't provide evidence of those claims. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not. No. This is how he talks. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a blimey old fuckmate, you think? I'm not a blimey old idiot. Oh, wait. I'm having a little trouble. Wait. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. But I have to do that slack-jawed London speak. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. I gotta add some more bass to it. I gotta clear the throat. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. Wait, I gotta put a little bit more Jason Statham in it. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. Okay, whatever. But anyway, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. Garvey said, characterizing the contracts, Pearl has people working on her, quote unquote, plantation for absolute pittance. Yo, listen, if they signed it, then that's what it is. If they signed it, it's a contract. That's what it is. Davis told Insider that Garvey's statements about her employees' contracts were defamatory and false, and that Garvey made assumptions based on of little information. I think you made a mistake. Made assumption based on of little information. I think y'all made a mistake there. She declined to share any details herself, citing the privacy of the people concerned. We do not take defamation lightly, and we will be pursuing this to the fullest extent of the law, she said. Due to that, I may have to wait on my video. Davis said she would not share any information about the contracts as that is private information of my employees. And she's doing the right thing. She's not supposed to really share information about the contracts, especially if they had a previous agreement not to, which I don't know if they did. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But, SA RA Garvey, I think he's barking up the wrong tree here. So anyway, however, this will be shown in court and it will be easy to prove that it is false, she said. Davis also appeared on Anton Daniels' podcast. She said she couldn't offer salaries because I think you mean the company. So these people are making mistakes. She said she couldn't offer salaries because the company is expensive to run and cash poor. This is what I'm talking about. Let me tell you something. As a YouTuber, you can believe this or not, I have used mostly iPhone about 95% of the time to make my videos. I work alone. And even though this iPhone that I'm holding in my hand, for example, this iPhone 14 Pro Max 1 terabyte deep purple, this thing cost me $1,750 to buy. I think I even made a video the day I bought it. I think. Per month, this phone has allowed me to earn more than $2,500 a month. That is not counting all of the free equipment that I've gotten from my Chinese suppliers that you've seen in the videos that I've made about the free equipment that I've gotten. That is not counting the cash apps that some of my subscribers have sent me. That is not counting the super chats and the super thanks that some of my subscribers have sent me. For me, YouTube has been a tax strategy because I filed 1099 as a journalist, in addition to W-2 salary withheld, because I actually have two jobs. For those people who follow, these scumbags online who dox people, you probably know what one of my jobs is at least, but the other job is in real estate, and I don't talk about it at all. But the bottom line is, you can believe what you want. I don't really care. Because, when you see me in Bora Bora, or you see me in Maldives, or you see me in Seychelles making videos, the first thing most people want to ask is, well, how can you afford that? When you see me, when my electric Cadillac finally gets built and delivered, people will be like, oh, how could you afford that? I mean, this economy is a mess. It's like, yeah, it's a mess for you, not a mess for me. I fucking work. So bottom line is, YouTube, I don't trust YouTube to always be there. And I damn sure wouldn't be making any contracts with anybody to work on YouTube because you can never be certain how much money is going to come in. And personally, if I'm the person who people are watching and listening to, I don't want to have to share that with anybody because the other person's basically irrelevant. That's just how I feel about it. It's like I just don't work well with other people on certain. It's like I do this at my own speed. It's like sometimes I go on other people's channels and I feel like I'm like a fifth wheel. Like it's like other people are talking and everybody's like, oh yeah, I need my chance at the mic. I'm like, yo, fuck your chance at the mic. I'm busy talking. I don't feel like passing the mic. I'm long-winded. I could go on and on and on and on for hours, and it's your choice as the viewer whether or not to listen. Right now it is 7:07. I've been talking for a while. I don't even know how long I've been talking. And the thing about it is I can keep going. Now, other people, oh yeah, well, I want to turn at the mic. It's like, fuck your turn at the mic. Listen, I'm not here for you. It's just that simple. So I don't work well with other people. I just don't. And it is what it is. I don't like the fact that society makes it seem like you have to work with other people. I don't want to work with you. I'm sorry, I just don't. Not because of you, just because I don't work well with other people. And I don't want to change. I want to keep doing it my way. And that because my way works. My way pays the mortgages on both my properties. My way pays the mortgage on my investment property. My way is going to put my electric Cadillac in my yard. My way pays for business class flights to other countries. So why should I change? I don't want to change. No. Okay, so it's fine if you don't want to do that kind of deal. It's not for everybody, she said. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. He's more than welcome to go start something on his own. My question is, why haven't you? And the simple reason, Queen Pearly, the simple reason he hasn't is because nobody's listening to him. Most of these men on the manosphere don't grow. Some of them grow to 100,000. Some of them grow to 200,000. Some of them go to 300,000. But Kevin Samuels is one of the few that got enough attention to surpass 1 million. Women in general, if they are on the grind, they can easily get 1 million because they're getting a lot of men and they're getting a lot of women. And in Pearly's case, she's getting it from all over the damn globe. But the thing about it is most of these men don't grow. And especially doing this type of content, most of them have to hide their videos. Most of them have to, they basically crawl under a rock like a hermit crab. And they crawl under that rock or they crawl back in their shell and they disappear for long periods of time, and they pop up here, they pop up there. And it's like they can't grow that way. But somebody like Pearly, she's on there every freaking day. And she has a guaranteed appearance like every single day. She grows, because people tune in to see Pearly. That is what it is. Sarah Davis, if he starts a channel right now, yeah, there's a couple of people who watch it. He'll definitely, I think he had 100,000 followers until she red flagged his channel to death using copyright strikes. But I don't know. I just don't know. It's like, listen, if he starts a channel, yeah, he'll probably have 100,000. He'll probably have 200,000, maybe. He may even have 500,000, but he ain't going to be no 1.38 million like Pearly. Not Pearly. Pearly ain't playing. Don't pocket watch women. It doesn't work. If Pearly does nothing but come on there and show her feet off, Pearly will still have 2 million followers before I do. And there's nothing I can do about it. She doesn't even have to say nothing. All she got to do is show off the big-ass white legs and show off them feet. You remember Deuce Bigelow, how Deuce Bigelow went out with that tall chick and you couldn't see her head? Yeah, and I'm not making fun of him because I'm taller than Pearly. But I'm just saying, like, Pearly's like 6'2" or something. I'm 6'6". So, I'm just saying, you can't pocket watch no woman. If Pearly just comes on there, you don't even have to see her face. All she has to do is just do them yoga poses, and she's gonna have like 3 million followers, and I'm not. I'm not doing yoga poses. I'm not doing it. So anyway, Davis apologized. Wait. In his interview, Garvey also took issue with Davis's recent interview with some white supremacist Nick Fuentes, claiming she was overly friendly with him, laughed with him, and seemed to agree with a lot of his points. Davis apologized for the interview in a video last Monday, after backlash from several black creators, saying she was not educated on the topics Fuentes brought up. First of all, that's her first mistake as far as I'm concerned. You don't apologize to these people. You don't apologize to these people. Black creators, you couldn't even name these people. Who were they? You don't apologize. If I decide right now that I want to do an interview with Vladimir Putin, there's people out there, oh, you should have never done that. You should never. That's like, you think I'm apologizing to you? Fuck that. I wanted to talk to Vladimir Putin. If I decide that I want to do an interview with Donald Trump, I'll do it. I mean, if I could. Donald Trump, he may be listening to this. He might want to come on my channel. Vladimir Putin might be listening to this. He might want to come on my channel. If I want to do it, I'll goddamn do it. I got First Amendment rights to do whatever I want to say and to express myself however I want. If I want to do an interview with either of the two of them, I'm trying to think of the most hated people in the world right now. Vladimir Putin's one, Trump is another. Let me think. Who would be the third most hated person in the world right now? Oh, yeah, President Xi. If I want, Kim Jong over in North Korea. If I want to do an interview with them, they tune into my show and they're like, hey, John, let me in, send me the link. It's like, I'm not apologizing for that shit. You don't apologize. You don't apologize to any of these people. These people are beneath you. You don't apologize to them. Shit. Let CNN or MSNBC come to me like, oh, yes, well, you had a controversial interview with Vladimir Putin and President Xi, and you should never have talked to them. Man, I'd curse you out on live television. I'd curse you out. It is what it is. So it says, what is this? Oh my God, what the hell is this? A skin tag. Okay, YouTube, you see this right here? This is a mole. This is a skin tag. This is nothing that looks like a scrotum, but it's not. Okay, I just really like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. She said, in hindsight, that wasn't smart. Nah, you did what you did. You don't owe anybody an excuse. In fact, most of these so-called black creators on YouTube in the manosphere, a lot of them have been echoing Trump talking points and echoing Nick Fuentes talking points. So I don't see why why a lot of them would have a problem. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Donovan Sharp, he's a black content creator, and he had Nick Fuentes, or at least he did some show recently with Nick Fuentes, for what I saw. Who else? Some of these people have talked to controversial people and whatnot. It's these YouTubers' dream to get somebody like Donald Trump on their channel. It's their dream to get somebody like Putin or President Xi on their channel. It's their dream, if they could. So, nah, man, you don't apologize to these people. I don't even know the names of these people. Who'd you apologize to? You don't apologize ever. Patrice O'Neal, before he died, rest in peace, Patrice O'Neal had a explanation where he broke down how Hollywood works, and it's on YouTube. It's all you got to do is type Patrice O'Neal explains Hollywood, and it'll come right up. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, yeah, it's like when you grow, eventually people try to make you owe, and eventually when you step out of bounds, they're going to force you into apologies. They force you to join special interest groups, and they try to control you and shit. It's like, man, I will say this. That's one of the benefits about being a small YouTuber. I'm under 100,000, but I'm going to get to 100,000 in my own due time. For right now, all I'm interested in is making the money and getting the views. For right now, it's like I'm gonna get 100. After I get past 100,000, I really don't care anymore. It's like I'll make my videos, but no matter how much I grow, I really don't care that much. But one of the problems with being a big YouTuber and being famous and having 1 million people following you and having people know who you are and shit, you realize I can walk out into the street right now and nobody knows who I am, and I like that. I like the anonymity, but sometimes I'm out. And because I don't show my face much on camera, so people don't know what I look like from picture to picture. And the thing about it is, like, sometimes I wear glasses, sometimes I wear hats and shit. Nobody really recognizes me. But as soon as I open my voice in public, people fucking recognize that shit. And they recognize it. And then they start asking me for photos. They start asking me to do impressions. Like, I had people who see my car in traffic and they speed up to catch up to me and shit. That is kind of freaky. That freaks me out a little. And, I'm not saying you can't do it because obviously it's public. So, chances are you're going to do it. You're going to wave and you'll be like, hey, is that you? And I'll be like, yeah, that's me. But that's like really, it's really just, it's kind of weird. It's like we're becoming everyday celebrities off this YouTube shit. And, these celebrities have to have security. They have to protect themselves because you could be a man and there could be for instance, who is it? Derek Jackson. Somebody like Derek Jackson who does all this female content. These women, if they recognize you in public, let me tell you something, these women will pursue your ass. They get obsessed. These women will try to break into your house, trying to get those seeds. You got to be careful, man. Like, in fact, there was a YouTuber female who just got killed, I think, in the news. There's a couple of YouTuber females who got killed in the news. You got to be careful, man. Now, why do you think I got this Desert Eagle? Why do you think I got this shit for my health? Hell no. I got this thing just because you got to conceal carry now because you just don't know. There's people who sneak up on you. I tell you, man, it's a new day out there. Some of these women, they listen to your voice. I got one on my channel right now, Femi. She comes on my channel. She listens to my voice. She listens to me say stuff, and she's trying to laugh at my jokes and everything. She's trying to present herself to me. She's like, "Oh yeah, well, I can grip you like a soda," and I'm not lying because anybody who's in my community chat, I posted the photo. Oh yeah, I'll grip on you like a soda can. You see these small hands of mine? I'll grip you like a soda can. She did, yeah. I have the photos in my community chat. I have them. So I'll grip you like a soda can. I'm like, huh? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like some of these women out there, man, these women, they listen to your voice. Because, they listen to my voice. They listen to my Beyonce singing. And they get excited, you know? And they see you got nice cars. They see you about to buy an electric Cadillac. And they be like, I want to ride an electric Cadillac. And then they see you driving Mercedes, you driving Jeeps, and you driving the Hellcat, you on the plane at 30,000 feet sipping champagne. These women be watching that stuff. They be like, oh, I want to do that. I wonder where he lives. Next thing you know, bing bong, go to your door. You got chicks outside waiting. And you're like, wait, who are you? Are you here for FedEx? And be like, no, I'm here to get those seeds. I'm here to get those black seeds of yours. Nah, man, I tell you, it's a new day out there, man. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. No. See, listen, that's the thing. If you become too big on YouTube, people know who the fuck you are. They know. And if they know who you are, man, sooner or later, you're going to get groupies. You're going to get chicks just like Femi. Oh, yeah, I'll grip you like a soda can in these clutches. You see these raptor claws I got? I got these clutches. I will grip you like a soda can. You know what I'm saying? And she'll grip on you like a soda can. You'll be like, oh, my goodness, what happened? You got to be so careful out there in these YouTube streets. You got to be careful. And I am not signing no goddamn contract. I'm not doing it. So that's what I'm saying. These women will come after you. They will. If you're a female, it's even worse. The women will tell you, if you on OnlyFans, you showing off your feet, showing off their yoga poses. You on OnlyFans, you on Instagram, you showing yoga poses, you showing feet photos. You posted peach photos. You got those photos of the peach photos. These guys, man, are at home. These guys are at home trying to figure out where you live. They try to find you. And when they find you, you got problems. So now, let me tell you something. These YouTube streets, man, we're turning into everyday celebrities. That shit, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because some of them just want a little bit of that seed. Some of them want some of that peach. But there's some of these people. They expect you to marry them, and they expect you death to us part. Till death do us part. That's what they expect from you. It's like, huh? Wait a minute. How do we get there? I don't even know you. It's like, nah, I need those seeds. I want to grip you like a soda can. I want to grip you like a Coke can. That's what she said. She said, I can grip you like a Coke can. Yeah, be so careful out here with these streets, man. These YouTube streets ain't no joke. Ain't no joke, man. So anyway, that's pretty much the story. I didn't opine on this story up till now because I just didn't know what I wanted to say. And the beautiful thing about this Insider article is the Insider article makes it easy to organize, the thoughts and everything. So Lindsay Dodgson, you had lots of spelling errors and you had lots of subject-verb disagreements. I would have expected that Insider would have had better editors who would read this over and correct it, but they did not. I'm very disappointed in you. Next time you write something, please make sure you go over it with an editor and also make sure you go over with somebody to check for validity. Her name is Just Pearly Things, not Just Pearl. Okay? There's lots of mistakes. Always have a good editor, reread your... Whatever happened to proofreading? Nobody do that anymore? Like, do people just write some shit and hand it in and say, yeah, okay, it's ready to publish? Nobody proofreads anymore. What's going on? What's going on? You're always supposed to have somebody else read it. If you're a younger person, have your parents read it first. Now, if your parents suck at English and they can't read, take it to somebody who can read it. Use Chat GPT. I mean, come on, seriously. But yeah, that's the story. So I know people are going to comment. You can say whatever you want to say. And that is, just keep it respectful and everything. I don't care about the criticisms. I really don't. The applause, I appreciate. The criticisms, whatever. It is what it is. It's like I've never wavered on my stance regarding Pearly. I've never wavered on my stance regarding Kevin Samuels. I believe about them what I believe, and I'm not changing it for anybody. And that's just it. So, you can say whatever you want to say. I can care less. So that said, that's the video.
To be continued.